Hello everybody and welcome to MikeyTaylorGaming, and today we're taking a look into the world of Pokemon Red and Blue glitches for the Game Boy, obviously. If you guys sat and watched through my first attempt of a Pokemon glitches video, then I apologise so badly to you. You did not deserve that. That video was terrible, with scripting being bad, editing being bad, and the speaking being bad, including explanation of glitches being bad. Everything was bad, okay? But this time I've really redeemed myself, bringing you 16 glitches from Pokemon Red and Blue. You can find a list of the glitches in the description below, but if you don't want to ruin it for yourself, then you can sit through this entire half an hour and just smile all the way through it. I've got detailed explanations of why some of the most famous glitches in this game work, and I think I've really done this justice, so I hope you all enjoy, and if I don't see you before, then I will see you at the end card. Have fun. Oh, and I'm sorry it's been a month since I've uploaded a video again. I've been pretty busy. So if you're one of those people who chose Charmander at the start of your game, or if you're just too lazy to battle Brock in Pewter City, then you'll be happy to know that there's an easy way to skip him by using a funny looking glitch. If you haven't already defeated Brock in the Pewter City gym yet, then a youngster will be blocking the path to Route 3 and he'll just drag us back there if we try to get past him. Who does this kid think he is exactly? Manhandling me like this? Ugh, if we could kick him out of the way then I'd be pretty happy, but since we can't do that, we'll just have to glitch past him. To set the glitch up, bring up the start menu and make sure that the cursor is pointing at save. You need to do this because during the glitch you won't be able to move the cursor at all. Once you've done that, close the start menu using B and walk past the youngster whilst continuously hitting the B button to skip his text. As soon as you press B on the final text box, press start as fast as you can, and if you did it right, then the start menu should pop up allowing you to save your game. Once the game has finished saving, simply restart the console and choose to continue from the saved game. Once you're loaded back in, the youngster will try to talk to you, then he'll kinda glitch out a little, and then you'll be free to wander onto Route 3 without beating Brock. It's super simple. I should probably mention that the glitch changes slightly depending on where you walk past the youngster. If you walk past him with a one-tile gap like I just showed you, then as soon as you load your game, you'll be able to walk onto Route 3. But if you walk right in front of him and do the glitch, then you'll be dragged back to the gym where he'll stand inside this nice lady and invade her personal space quite a lot. I hope he gets arrested. Dragging me round and invading women. Creep. Once the cutscene has ended, you can just walk through the tile where the youngster was originally stood by Route 3 and you'll be free to pass. Careful though, if you don't pass through the tile he was stood on, then the glitch won't work and you'll be dragged back to the gym again. Get off me! Why don't we take a look at one of the most exciting glitches that's ever existed in any video game? Are you guys ready? Because I'm about to blow your minds. Find a cuttable tree and cut it down. Stand where the tree was before you cut it down and then save your game. Once the game is saved, reset the console and continue from the saved game and boom! You'll be on top of the tree. Is that an amazing glitch or what? Listen to that crowd cheering, they know it's awesome. If I ever made a top 10 favourite glitches in video games, then this would have to be on there for sure. It's insane, right? Okay, everything I said was a lie, but it's still a glitch. So, yeah. As we all know, certain Pokemon only evolve when you use stones on them, like Growlithe, which evolves when you use a Firestone, or Gloom, which evolves when you use a Leaf Stone. It can be hard to find all of the evolutionary stones that you need in one game, but fortunately, there's a glitch that can help you evolve these Pokemon without ever using a stone. The table on screen here can be found at Bulbapedia, and it shows which Pokemon has the same identifier as which stone. This might seem complicated, but it's really simple. Let's say that we want to evolve a Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff, but we don't have a Moonstone. By looking at the table, we can see that Exeggutor has the same identifier as a Moonstone, so let's use that knowledge to our advantage. First things first, make sure you have a Jigglypuff and Exeggutor in your party, and that the Jigglypuff will level up during the next battle. Send Jigglypuff out first, and then switch to Exeggutor straight away. Since Executor's identifier is the same as the moonstone like we can see on the chart, switching to it triggers the game to think that a moonstone is being used when it actually hasn't. Make sure you finish the battle using the Executor, and as long as Jigglypuff levels up, it'll evolve like a regular Pokemon at the end of the battle. This is the same method for any of the Pokemon listed on the chart, so try it out for yourself if you're short of stones. I don't know exactly why this glitch works, but it really is a helpful one if you're always short of evolutionary stones during the game like I am. The SSN. This is one of my favourite parts of Pokemon Red and Blue versions. Don't ask me why, because I'm really not sure. There's just something about this place that I love. Unfortunately, once you've obtained Cut from the captain and left the ship, you'll never see it again. Unless you glitch. It's actually pretty simple to get back on the SSN, even though this guy tells us that the ship has set sail so we can't go past. Don't believe him though, he's a total liar. First, you need to stand right in front of the sailor who's blocking us from getting by. Turn to the right and take one step towards the water, and halfway through the step you need to press start and save the game. Just like with a couple of the other glitches we've seen so far, once the game is saved you'll need to restart the console and load that save back up again. Because of the way that we saved the game, we're facing the water when we're put back into the world. But when we loaded the game, our character's position is actually set so that we're facing the sailor, but we can still interact with the water. So from here, don't move in any direction or else the glitch won't work. Instead, open up the menu, choose Pokemon and use Surf with any Pokemon that can use it. Once you've done that, you'll see that instead of surfing on the water, you'll surf into the sailor and you'll just have to jump off your Pokemon on the other side of him. So simple. Walk through the loading zone and the SSN will still be sat there waiting for you. I told you that that guy was a liar.
Look, I'm not a liar, I just didn't see the ship there, okay? Just don't judge me for this, I'm doing my job. Leave me alone.
Okay, I didn't know, I'm sorry. You can go inside and collect any items that you missed the first time you visited. You can also battle any of the trainers that you missed on the ship, but by now you'll probably be able to completely destroy them, so there isn't really much point in doing that. As well as being able to go back into the ship, you can also explore the dock around the SSN now too by surfing from the bridge. If you explore the area a little, then you'll easily find the truck that Mew was rumoured to be hidden under. Turns out that that was a lie too. Mew was never underneath this truck, and here's the proof. This is a simple glitch that personally brings me so much happiness. Farewell until next time, SSN. I love you. I'm weird. Next up, we're going to take a look at a couple of Safari Zone glitches. One of them's pretty famous, but the other three aren't as well known, but still have some cool effects. A lot of you guys may have heard or seen Glitch City in these games. If you haven't, then it looks like this. You can guess why it got its name, right? It's pretty easy to get here actually using the Safari Zone and some simple steps, so let's take a look. First, make your way to Fuchsia City and enter into the Safari Zone gatehouse. Then, when the cashier asks you if you want to join the hunt, say yes. Once you're inside the Safari Zone, take a step back into the gatehouse where he'll then ask you if you're leaving early. You need to choose no and then you'll be taken back into the Safari Zone again. From here, don't move from the position that you're in. Instead, press start, save the game and then, you guessed it, restart the game. Again, load the game that you just saved and then walk into the gatehouse one last time. This time the cashier won't ask you if you want to leave early, which means there's only a couple more steps to go. Walk past the cashier and when he asks if you want to join the hunt, this time choose no and you're free to leave. From here, everything seems normal, but there's actually an invisible step counter counting down the amount of steps you have left until your Safari game is over, even though we're not even in there. So this is the final part of the glitch, just make the step counter run out. There's a couple of important things to know for when that moment comes. Number 1, you can't be in a city when it runs out or else nothing will happen. Number 2, the glitch effects will change depending on where you are when the counter runs out. And number 3, there are 500 steps before the counter runs out. Make sure you use them wisely. So, if we finish the step counter whilst we're in a route, when we exit the Safari Zone gatehouse, we're put into Glitch City. But why does that happen? It's a hard one to explain, but the reason that this happens is because cities in the Safari Zone all have the same warp type, which is used when you enter and exit buildings to take you to a new location. When the Safari Zone step counter runs out, the game attempts to use that warp to take you back into the gatehouse. But if you're stood in a route, then that warp doesn't exist, so the game gets confused and takes you to this mess of a place when you leave. The glitch city that you're taken to will always be a corrupted version of the area you were walking when the counter ran out. Check the map and you'll see. Simple, right? Even though the route looks like this, if you get lucky with the corruption, you can still walk around and even surf if you can find water. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this place so that you guys can explore for yourselves and see what there is to find out there in Glitch City. You might be surprised by a couple of things. If you get bored of Glitch City and want to escape to the normal world, all you have to do is use Fly or Teleport and you'll be taken to a Pokemon Center in the boring old land of Kanto. The people of this land really don't know how screwed up their world is. I think they'd be frightened if they did. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 other effects that can be brought on by this glitch depending on where the step counter finishes, so let's take a look at those as well. My personal favourite of the effects is if you end the step counter in the Viridian City gym after stepping on one of the tiles which makes you spin. Once you're ding-dinged and taken back to the gatehouse, the walking animation will now be a slow spinning animation, matching the movement that you were making in the gym. Leaving the gatehouse works fine because we ended the glitch in a city, so have fun moving around everywhere at 1 mile an hour whilst spinning uncontrollably. You can even get on the bike for some ultimate BMX skills. Crazy. This guy's gonna be a pro when he grows up for sure. Another awesome effect is if you jump off of a ledge on the final step of the counter. If you can count perfectly and pull this off, then you'll be taken back to the gatehouse whilst you're still in mid-air. Start walking around in here and you'll realise that you can walk through any of the walls in the gatehouse. But if you leave the gatehouse, then the effect disappears, so that's a little bit boring. You can crash the game by walking out of bounds in here though, so don't do it, because it's annoying. The final effect can be found if you end the step counter in a tunnel where it's dark. If you do that, then the dark effect will remain when you're brought back into the gatehouse. Unfortunately, leaving the gatehouse brings you back into Glitch City. But if you join the hunt and enter the Safari Zone again, then the effect will remain until you use Flash with a Pokemon. I've always found it kinda strange that you can still use Flash to light up the area even though you're not in a cave, but it does make a lot of sense, I guess. I think it's about time we covered a glitch that doesn't require a restart, don't you? Cycling Road is a beautiful place full of beautiful people. I mean, everyone is beautiful in their own way, right? Even this guy who bullies 10-year-olds from his motorcycle on Cycling Road, by the way. It's also home to a very steep hill, but you can't really tell that from the top-down perspective, so we'll just have to believe Nintendo on that one. Anyways, the glitch. If you haven't got a bike yet, or if you've stored it in your PC because your item menu is full, then you can still pass by the Cycling Road guards. Stand next to the counter that the guard is stood behind and walk past him whilst continuously hitting the B button. It could take a couple of tries, but soon enough the text will cancel out and instead of dragging you back to the entrance, you'll walk right past. Really doesn't get much easier than that. This is a simple way to save an item slot if you're planning on going to Cycling Road. You'll just have to walk everywhere else slowly, that's all. Let's take a look at another glitch that'll save you quite a lot of time. At some point in the past whilst playing through these games, I'm sure that a lot of you guys will have stumbled across the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. If you did before you found the Sylph Scope, then any Pokemon that you find will appear to be ghosts. These ghosts are the worst. You can't attack them, you can't catch them, and there's one that you're forced to battle near the top of the tower before you can progress. If you don't have the Sylph Scope from the Rocket Hideout in Celadon City, then you won't be able to beat this ghost, and running away from it doesn't get rid of it either, meaning you'll have to backtrack down the Pokemon Tower, go to Celadon City, and make your way through the Rocket Hideout to get the item. For those of you that don't know, the rocket hideout can take about 10 to 15 minutes if you know your way around it, and much longer if you've never been in there before. So let's skip it and not have to deal with wasting all of that time. First, buy a poker doll from the 4th floor of the Celadon department store, and that's literally all you need for this glitch. Make your way back to Lavender Town, all the way back up to the ghost which was blocking your path, and simply use the poker doll to escape the battle. For some reason, escaping the battle using the doll tricks the game into thinking that the ghost was actually defeated rather than it being run away from. The event showing that the ghost has been put to rest pops up, and then you can go ahead and defeat the rocket grunts at the top of the tower, save Mr. Fuji, and there you have it. You saved a lot of time by doing basically nothing. Winning! In Pokemon Red and Blue versions, when entering a building it may seem completely new to you at first, but if you look a little closer at the inside of the buildings in these games, they're often clones of another building, just with certain graphics and objects moved around and changed to give the illusion of a completely different place. Another example of this can be found in Celadon City. If you make your way to the Celadon Hotel in the bottom right hand corner of the city and take a look around, you can see that it too is based on the inside of a Pokemon Center. So you might be asking, where's the glitch? Well, if you walk into the corner of the hotel where the PC is normally found in a Pokemon Center and press A, you'll find an invisible PC which you can use, and it's fully functioning too. A tiny glitch can be found with certain NPCs on the overworld when you're walking around. For example, if you start walking up Nugget Bridge and press the start button just as the first NPC is about to appear on screen, he'll appear in the top left of the screen instead of in his normal position behind the pause menu. I believe that this happens because whilst you're walking around, the set of tiles behind you is unloaded whilst the set of tiles in front of you is loaded. Pausing the game leaves enough time to load the tiles ahead of you, but not quite enough time to put the NPCs in the right place. That's what I think anyways. I could be completely wrong, but that explanation makes sense to me. This glitch works with many different NPCs found in the game, so if you think it's kind of interesting, then you should try it out for yourselves with different people. For me though, this one's kind of boring, so I think I'm going to leave it up to you guys to find the rest of these NPCs. Okay, we're finally at the infamous glitch that we all know and love, the Old Man Glitch. This glitch is likely to be one of the world's most famous. It's helpful and destructive all at the same time, and is one of the few ways known to find that legendary glitch Pokemon known as Missing No. To start off the glitch, you first have to talk to the old man in Viridian City who shows you how to catch Pokemon and watch his tutorial. When you talk to the old man, your name is temporarily replaced with Old Man, so the name that you chose at the start of the game needs to be stored somewhere whilst this change is made. The place that your name is stored is in the Grass Pokemon encounter table. Why? Well, it's actually really simple. Whenever you're in any city or town, you'll never ever find any grass tiles to battle Pokemon, so putting your name into the Grass Tiles encounter table would never normally be a problem. Once the tutorial with the old man is over, your name remains in the encounter table until something overwrites it, but that only happens when you walk into another route where Pokemon can be found. But there's a way to exploit this. Flying from one city to another means that nothing is overwritten, because like I said, in cities there are never any Pokemon found in grass, so there's nothing to overwrite the name when you're in the new location. There is however one city in the game where grass tiles exist, and that's Cinnabar Island. Believe it or not, the tiles that you can surf on to the right of the island are classified as grass tiles, which means if your name is still in the encounter table, you can find some pretty weird things on the coastline, including Missing No. So, if you didn't already guess, the steps to the Old Man glitch are: number 1, talk to the old man in Viridian City. Number 2, fly to Cinnabar Island. Number 3, surf down the west coast until you get an encounter. Step 4, there isn't one, you're done. The Pokemon that appear on the coast all depend on the name that you gave your character at the start of the game. Missing No will always appear no matter what your name is, and now I'll explain why. This is where things can get a little complicated, but I'll try and keep it simple for you guys. Every single Pokemon in the game has a hidden hexadecimal number. That's the number which would normally appear in the encounter table, telling the game which Pokemon can be encountered in the area that you're currently in. The list of all these numbers can be found here on Bulbapedia. The same can be said for each letter of your name. Every letter in your name has a hexadecimal value, so when they're put into the encounter table, the Pokemon that matches that hex number can be found when you're performing the Old Man glitch. But only the 3rd, 5th and 7th letters of your name are taken into account, as they're the slots in the table that the game searches for encounters in. The characters of your name that aren't being used to find encounters are used to determine the level of the Pokemon that you'll find. But we won't go into that right now because it's a little more complicated than I'm making it sound. One form of missing no will always appear no matter what your name is. Why, you ask? The hex value for this version of missing no is FF, which is just a blank space in the name of your character. When you're choosing a name at the start of the game, you're only allowed to input up to 7 characters, but there are actually 10 free spaces reserved for the name, even though you can't reach the last 3. When performing the Old Man glitch, these blank spaces are also taken into account, and that's why missing no appears no matter what. I'm lucky enough to have the letter Y in the 5th slot of my name, so I can make the ghost sprite appear when using the glitch, but this one we can actually battle and catch, unlike the ones found in the Pokemon Tower from earlier. There are a couple of strange effects that happen when you encounter missing no. For example, the 6th item in your bag will be increased by 128, if there are less than 128 items before encountering it anyway. Since the game can only print numbers up to 99 in the items list, the number gets a little glitched out when there are more than that in the bag. Hello, infinite rare candies. Cheat, cheat, cheat. Encountering or catching missing no can also mess with the Hall of Fame data quite a lot too. So if you're interested in keeping the Hall of Fame normal, then it's best to just avoid him altogether, I guess. Missing no is what's known as an error handler. He or she appears to prevent the game from crashing under circumstances such as this one. Though it was never intended to be Discover at all, it's now known around the world that we can make him appear on demand. There's a whole lot more that can be said about this glitch, so much that I could probably make a whole episode based on it. But I recommend you guys take a look more in depth on Bulbapedia, so you can learn all about it if you're interested. There is a lot of information on there, and it really helped me get to grips with making this video, so I would highly recommend it. And with that, it's time to leave the most famous glitch of all time behind us. So here we are guys on the final glitch of this episode. This one's pretty famous too, so there's no doubt that a lot of you guys will have seen it in action before watching this, but I still want to show it off and explain why it happens. There are a few trainers in the game who can see you at full range. They're the ones who can battle you as they appear from off the screen and can be so annoying if you're trying to avoid battles because you can't tell where they're going to appear from. These trainers are the key to our glitch. I'll be showing you this with the junior trainer found on Route 24, just so you know. If you want to try and follow along, then you should use this guy too. You're about to see why it's called Trainer Fly, except for the fact that I'm using Teleport instead of Fly because I haven't got Fly yet. So yeah. First, make sure that the trainer who wants to battle is off screen and that he'll spot you when you walk into his view. As soon as you take a step to make him appear, press the start button and you'll have access to the start menu, whilst also being able to see the trainer who wants to battle you. Use Fly or Teleport to be taken to any Pokemon Center, and when the menus disappear, the trainer will spot you, but it'll be too late. You'll have already escaped from this battle. Haha, no catching us out today, is there, Mr. Junior Trainer? When you arrive at the Pokemon Center that you chose, the game will be in a glitched state where it thinks that we're still in a battle with the junior trainer that we escaped from. Everything will seem normal except for the fact that the start button can't be used until the glitch is over. So the next step is to battle any wild Pokemon or trainer that you can find. If you battle a trainer, make sure that when he spots you there's at least a 1-tile gap between you and him, otherwise the game will crash. It's also important to know that the Pokemon that you battle against here will determine which Pokemon you're going to encounter during the glitch, so choose wisely. I'm going to battle this youngster found on the way to Bill's house at the top of Nugget Bridge because he has a special Slowpoke. And I'm being deadly serious, this thing's special and we're going to see why. If you're going to use this youngster too, then don't forget to walk up against the wall so that the game doesn't crash when he spots you. Defeat the Pokemon or the trainer that you chose, and afterwards you'll be able to use the start menu again. So open up the menu and use Fly or Teleport to get back to the Cerulean Pokemon Center, and then walk back into Route 24. As soon as you try to get into the route, your start menu will pop up for some reason. Press B to cancel out of it and a battle will start. If you guys chose to battle the youngster with the Slowpoke just like I did, then a Mew will appear. I told you that Slowpoke was special. Why would I lie to you guys? So why did Mew appear? This is all down to the hexadecimal values I told you about before. When you escape from the trainer, there's a blank space left in the battle table, telling the game which Pokemon you should be battling right now. When you battle a wild Pokemon or trainer, the game takes the special stat of the last Pokemon you battled and puts it into the battle table. The Slowpoke that we battle has a special stat of 21, and looking back at the chart shows that Mew can be encountered if the number in the battle table is 21. It all makes sense in the end, and it's pretty simple to understand once you get your head around it. This can be done to find any Pokemon on the chart, and the method is the same for many trainers who want to battle you from full range. To trigger the final encounter, you'll have to walk into the route they're stood on though. That's the only difference. So have fun experimenting with this glitch. It can keep you entertained for hours, trust me. Okay, I know I said that Trainer Fly was going to be the last glitch, but there are two more teeny tiny glitches that I'm going to add to the end of here as a bonus for you guys. In any gym, walk up to the statues and try using a fishing rod. Instead of the message "this isn't the time to use that" popping up, you'll be able to fish for Pokemon. Apparently these statues are classed as water tiles or something. At least that's how it seems, but I'm not 100% on it. You won't find any Pokemon in these statues though, unless you're trying this out in the Cerulean City gym, that is. Pokemon just seem to chill out in the statues here or something. Seems pretty normal to me. So here we are on the real final glitch of today. This can be found wherever you can find a boulder to use strength on. Whenever you're pushing a boulder around with strength, it's super boring. It takes forever because of a little animation that plays out every time you touch the boulder. The glitch here is found with this animation. If you press a button and push the boulder, then very quickly press another direction for just one frame, then the boulder will be pushed, but the animation that plays out will be done in the wrong place. The timing on the button pushes is pretty precise, so it could take a little practice to get right, but it's easy enough to try out for yourselves. I couldn't actually find this one documented anywhere, but I doubt that I'm the only one that's done this before, and if so, then we've discovered a glitch on Glitch Picnic. Well guys, there you go, that was the Pokemon Red and Blue Glitch Picnic like it was supposed to be a year and a half ago. This video, I think you'll all agree, was so much better than that first one, and I would like to thank you all actually. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank every single one of you guys who's watched this and has subscribed, because we've just reached 20,000 subscribers on this channel, and that is insane, it's incredible. I never thought that this content would make so many people happy. But it does, and it really makes me want to carry on doing this. The likes that you give, the comments, I love talking to you guys, and when I can, I do. It just seems so unreal that 20,000 of you guys think that the content is worthy of a subscribe, and I really do appreciate that. You don't understand how much, but I do. So anyway, I'll probably make a 20,000 subscriber video at some point. I have no idea what it's going to be about. I have no idea what the next Glitch Picnic's going to be even, so if you guys want to suggest something, then, I mean, I've got a big list of games, but I'm really not in the mood to do any of them at the moment. So if you want to suggest something and that pops right into my head, like that'll be a good game, then yeah, sure, I'll do it. And now that I'm done rambling, I'll promote two of my other videos that you might have missed because YouTube doesn't like to inform you guys when I upload a video for some reason. The one on the left here is Super Mario Sunshine glitches for the GameCube. This was a great episode, I really enjoyed doing the glitches on this one, and there's some pretty cool ones if you want to try them out for yourselves. And if you check out the box on the right, then you'll find The Legend of Zelda glitches for the NES. This is the first game, and I've got to be honest, I've never really seen any other compilation of glitches on YouTube or anything like that. So it's probably worth checking out if you've played that game before and you want to find some cool tricks to use. I mean, most of them aren't helpful, but they're still pretty cool, obviously, the glitches. Who doesn't love a good glitch, even if it's pointless? Anyways, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about, and I think that's everything I've got to say, so if you wouldn't mind, then please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I'll be back very soon with another one. Thank you all again for watching until the end, and don't forget, I love you all. Mwah.